Welcome back to Basic to Advanced Chemistry Educational Channel. In the last video, we discussed some techniques used to separate homogeneous mixture such as distillation, evaporation, chromatographic and recrystallization techniques. Today, we will learn a lesson on energy-matter relationship. On completion of this lesson, you will be able to define energy, list the different types of energy, identify the relationship between energy and matter. Let us start the lesson from energy. Does energy have mass and occupy space? The answer is no. Energy does not have mass and volume. Energy cannot be seen, touched, smelled, and tasted. Therefore, energy is not a matter. So, how can we know the presence or absence of energy? Energy is observed and measured by its effect on matter. So, how can we define energy? What is energy? Energy is the ability to do work or cause changes. Example, energy make things to move, heat and light. All changes in the planet involve energy acting on matter. So there are different forms of energy. Potential energy. This type of energy is stored in matter at high position and with elasticity. Kinetic energy. This is the energy of matter in motion. Thermal energy. Energy in heated objects. Chemical energy. Energy stored in chemical bond like in food and fuel. Nuclear energy. This is the energy stored in the nucleus of an atom. So, how are energy and matter related? Energy acts on matter and causes changes. Thermal energy causes changes of matter. Example, thermal energy can change ice to water, solid to liquid. So the changes occur due to thermal energy. Kinetic energy causes changes in motion. For example, heating a ball in motion can change its direction or increase its speed. Another relation between matter and energy is matter can store energy. For example, food, fuel, and wood are matter. They can store chemical energy. Stretch driver is matter. This can store potential energy. Another relation between energy and matter is matter and energy can transform. What does it mean? Matter can be transformed to energy and vice versa. In nuclear reaction, matter can turn into energy. For example, in the sun, nuclear fusion takes place. The most important reaction is hydrogen nuclei fusing together to form helium. During this process, the total mass of the final helium atom is slightly less than the combined mass of the original hydrogen nuclei. The missing mass defect is converted into energy. This is calculated according to Einstein's equation. E is equals to mc square. The other topic is the law of conservation of energy. What does this law states? The law of conservation of energy states that energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be transformed from one energy to another, or it can transfer from one matter to another. So let us see the visual representation of energy transfer and transformation. Green plants prepare their own food by absorbing light energy, water, and carbon dioxide. So the food prepared by green plants contains chemical energy. So this chemical energy is obtained from the transformation of radiant energy from sunlight, chemical energy from water and carbon dioxide. The food produced by green plants is consumed by animals. The chemical energy of food in plant is transferred to chemical energy of food in animals. Animals consume this food from green plant, then the food is digested and produce energy. This energy helps living things to move. The chemical energy in food is transferred to kinetic energy here. In another way, living things have died and buried underground. This is gradually changed to crude oil. Crude oil is a mixture of different chemical compounds. A chemical compound contains chemical energy. This chemical energy is obtained from the transfer of chemical energy in living things. Crude oil is used as a fuel for different vehicles to move. Therefore, the chemical energy in crude oil is changed to kinetic energy. Here is a transformation. Again, crude oil is used as a source of heat, which means the chemical energy in crude oil is transformed to heat energy. In this way, energy can be transferred from one matter to another and transformed from one type of energy to another. The other is, how can matter be converted into energy? One example is by nuclear fusion. What is nuclear fusion means? Nuclear fusion is a process in which two light atomic nuclei combine to form a heavier nucleus, releasing a large amount of energy. For example, in the nucleus of the Sun, hydrogen 2 and hydrogen 3 are fused to form helium-4, neutron and energy. Hydrogen with mass number 3 and hydrogen 2 with mass number 2 fused together to form helium with mass number 4, neutron and energy. So here we have 3 plus 2, 5 atomic mass. We have only 4 atomic mass. Based on conservation of mass, the mass of reactant must be equal to the mass of product. But here, one mass number is missed. So, what is happening in the nucleus of the Sun? Energy does not appear out of nothing. A small amount of M is converted to energy and calculated using Einstein's equation. E is equal to mc squared. So, the missed mass in this reaction is converted to energy. So what does it mean? Matter is converted to energy. So let us see this by using visual representation of nuclear fusion. In the nucleus of the Sun, hydrogen 2 fused with hydrogen 3 in the presence of high pressure and high temperature. So helium is formed and energy is disseminated. So let us see how this works. High pressure heats the nucleus of hydrogens. In the presence of high temperature, these two nuclei are fused together to form helium and neutron. Neutron and helium are matter. In between this, high amount of energy is generated. This is a real reaction, what is happening in the nucleus of the Sun. The second example is by nuclear fission. What is nuclear fission means? Nuclear fission is a process in which the nucleus of heavy atom like uranium 235 splits into two smaller nuclei along with few neutrons and a large amount of energy. How this works? Neutron strikes the nucleus of uranium 235, making it unstable and causing it to split into two. For example, this reaction tells us how uranium is split into two nuclei. This neutron strikes this uranium, make it unstable, and causes it to split into barium and crop, producing 3 free neutron and high amount of energy. So let us see this by using visual representation of nuclear fusion. The neutron strikes uranium, make it unstable and cause it split into two more stable nuclei. Let us see this one. The neutron strikes uranium and make it unstable, cause it split into two like this one. Krypton-92 and barium-141, producing high amount of energy and free neutrons. So if we add the mass in the reactant and the product side, some amount of mass is missed from the product side. This missed mass is converted to energy, not disappeared. This is another example showing us how matter is changed to energy like this one. In other way, let us see how can energy be converted into matter. That means energy is converted to matter by using Einstein equation. We can calculate like this one. So for example, in medical imaging, PET scan, what does it mean? Positron emission topography is a medical imaging technique that shows how tissue and organs are functioning. It is especially useful in detecting cancer, brain disorders, and heart problems. How it works? There are different steps. The first one is injection of radioactive tracer. A glucose labeled with positron emitting isotope like fluorine 18 is injected into the patient. This tracer accumulates in area of high metabolism like around cancer cells because they consume more glucose. Then the radioactive isotope undergoes beta plus decay, releasing a positron. Positron means antiparticle of electron. That is an electron with opposite charge. Fluorine 18 is decayed and produce oxygen 18, positron, and neutrino. Neutrino is escaped from the body. Oxygen is remain in the body. Annihilation reaction. In this process, the positron collides with a nearby electron. They annihilate. That means producing two gamma rays that shoot off in exactly opposite direction at 180 degrees apart. What does it mean? The positron and electron reacted to produce two gamma rays. These gamma rays are detected by circular array of detectors around the patient. The scanner records coincidences when two photons hit opposite detectors at the same time. Computer uses these events to calculate where the annihilation occurred, building a 3D map of tracer distribution. So finally, bright areas are displayed on computer. This shows high metabolic activity in human body, most probably due to cancer cells. So let us see this by using visual representation. How PET works. Here we have glucose labeled with radioactive isotope F18. This F18 can emit positron. When this glucose is injected because it is food, this directly goes to the place where high metabolic activities are found in the body. Most probably the place where cancer cells are found. Let us see what is going on when injected to human body. The glucose is consumed by the cell, then fluorine 18 is decayed, positron is produced and interacted with electron produced by metabolic activities. They cancel each other by producing two gamma rays. These gamma rays directed away from each other by 108 degrees centigrade. Then this energy is detected by the detector around the patient. Then the information is recorded by detector is displayed by this computer. So from this we can get information the place where cancer cells are found in human body. So this is one way that tells us how energy is converted to matter. Which energy? The energy in fluorine 18 is converted to positron. Positron is matter. Then this positron interact with the electron in human body to form energy in the form of gamma rays. This is an example that shows us how energy is converted to matter. So let us summarize our lesson. Energy-matter relationship. We have seen different forms of energy, including potential energy, kinetic energy, thermal energy, chemical energy, and nuclear energy. We have discussed also the law of conservation of energy. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed, but transferred and transformed. The other is how matter is converted to energy. For this, we have discussed two examples, nuclear fission and nuclear fission. How energy is converted to matter. For this one, we have seen one example, positron emission tomography. Before concluding our lesson, let us try to answer these questions. Match the type of energy listed A to H with the examples listed 1 to 17. We have different forms of energy listed A to H and different examples listed from 1 to 17. Let us see one by one. The first one is a rolling of ball, a ball on motion. So this has kinetic energy. A moving car in motion, this has kinetic energy. A falling raindrop, this has two types of energy. Because of its high position and because of its motion, it has potential and kinetic energy. A book on the shelf at high position on the rest, this has potential energy. A stretched rubber band, because of its elasticity, it has potential energy. Energy in food. Food has different chemical compounds. Chemical compound has chemical energy. Boiling water. This is heated object. So this has heat energy. The warmth from the sun. This is heat energy. Light from bulb. Light rays. Both have radiant energy. Powering computer. This is electrical energy. Batteries. In batteries, we have chemical compounds. So in chemical compound, there is chemical energy. Fuel, also chemical energy. Thunder, this is sound energy. Nuclear fission, atomic bomb, all have nuclear energy. Try for yourself and compare with these answers. Thank you for watching. Don't forget click to subscribe, share and like.